Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to tackle a topic that I'm getting a lot of questions about. Hey Guillermo, how are you running your business from Spain abroad for what is now approaching 2 years? In fact, I just did a podcast with a good friend of mine, Ken Jordan, and thank you again for inviting me on the podcast. Invited me on the podcast specifically to talk about this. And it's a big part of the value proposition of our group, Game Changers and Real Estate B School here at EXP is the three freedoms. Having a business that's worth having. It's financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. And so I thought I'll use 3 quick, easy tips, things that you can just get going right now, basic stuff to get you onto the path. I mean, there's a lot more there, but we'll just start there. And business tip number 1 is sit back and reflect on what you're actually doing so you can create a plan, right? So my recommendation, sit down and write down all the things that you're doing that are not super dollar productive, right? The $10 an hour stuff, the administrative stuff. That could be the marketing, the listing management, the transaction management. Write all those things down, just stream of consciousness. Write them all down, organize them, and then give yourself a time frame. Say 3 to 5 years, and chunk them up. Like, all right, these are the tasks I want to get off in year 1. And these are the tasks I want to get off my plate in year 2. These are the tasks I want to get off in year 3, et cetera, et cetera. And then associate it with a revenue profit number that you're going to hit. Like, hey, in year 1, if I hit this, or when I hit this, right? Like when I hit this, these are the things that I'm going to then hire somebody else to replace myself and hire myself out of the business. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is go find yourself somebody who can actually do that in a very cost-effective way immediately. And that's, in my opinion, the transaction management is the stuff that will help propel your sales up and get you out of minutia of the day. And there's a lot of companies that are doing transaction management on an ad hoc basis, right? You don't have to hire somebody and have all those operating expenses on your P&L right away. Just as you're closing deals, you can pay a flat fee as you're going. In fact, EXP has one where you pay a couple $100 at closing to handle all the things that happen from contract to close. So that's tip number 2. Go out there and find somebody like that today that will elevate your game, because now your brain's not immersed in the $10 an hour stuff and allow you to be free to go do the $500 hour stuff, right? So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is slow down to speed up. And what I mean by that is there is something that's making you successful, right? There's a reason your clients are working with you. Well, and before you go hire people, you need to actually have a system in place. And a system is like, people are like, what's a system? It's so complicated, everybody talks about system. Well, it's just memorializing what you do and what makes you be successful. For instance, if you're great at drawing up an agreement of sale, then slow down. And my recommendation is every Friday morning, block off 1 or 2 hours and sit down with Zoom or Loom. There's all these devices or apps that will record you and your screen at the same time and go through an agreement of sale, right? And say, hey, this is how you fill in this paragraph, this is how you fill this in, a listing contract, this is how I do this is how I fill it, this is how I do my open house procedure. Slow down and then record those things. Then you can save it on, I don't know, Google Drive or Dropbox, whatever you use. And that becomes the system for the person that you hire to follow and duplicate what you do on a day-to-day basis. Makes sense? A lot of us go out and hire people right away, and then they don't perform really well, and then we're one scratching our head, we're like, hey, why aren't they doing the thing the way I do it? Like, well, we didn't teach them, right? We got to look at ourselves as leaders. That's a great system. Slow down, speed up. Every Friday morning, just take one part of the business that you know that you can then delegate to somebody really easily, and just record that. And now you've got that. You build chunks of that over a time period, and you'll have this big library of stuff to like teach the agents that you hire and the administrative staff you hire. Or if you just want to cut right to chase, we already got it here at Game Changers and Real Estate B School. You can just copy that stuff from us. In any case, hope you find this helpful. If you like the content, please like my video, comment on it below, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And in the meantime, go out there and cause and create miracles. Have a great day.